Another wonderful little day. Now, you wouldn't tell by looking at gold because it's just a sideways grind. It's actually quite a nice candle. I mean, you'd expect with yesterday's close, maybe we went higher, but I just like how we went lower than the last 2 days. And we closed pretty nice. It's like a little hammer, nothing too bullish, not bearish, sideways. And we're holding a big move up. It's just grinding sideways up. So I actually don't mind today's golden candle. But for me, and probably some of you guys in the miners, an amazing day. Not really because of gold or even the gold miners, but actually because of silver and especially the silver miners. I like silver. Silver's outperforming gold. Silver wants to go to 44. I'll look at that in a second. I just feel like, I had all these targets before. Oh, when we take out 39.5, we're going to run. And I'd zoom in, I'd look here, the little candles, and I'm going to do it again. And if I really overanalyze, and I think that's what maybe some of us are doing. What was I saying? I was saying probably, here 40, then, yeah, I remember 42.5, then 43.5, then 44. Okay. But the way things are going, I don't think too many people care about these little tops up here. I think 44 is the target for now because obviously 50 is the real target. I think we're going to test 50. I think we'll probably pause at 48.99. That's probably where I don't own silver actually. I own everything but silver, gold miners, silver miners. But I think I would trim a decent amount of silver miners once silver's aiming for 49. That's what I mean by setting 48.99. But I think silver, where are we now? We're basically just below 42. Very nice day. You saw the candle. Next stop, 42.5-ish, then 43, then 44. But 44 is the last stop off before the massive 50 run that everyone knows about. So I think 44 is an area to sell. Now, when I say sell, I mean light trims, something I've reinstituted because I stopped trimming for like 1.5 weeks maybe, which was very lucky maybe. But the habit has returned, and every day it's just, I mean, the miners are up 2.5, 3% every day. And the amount I have in them, it's a massive move. I'm trying to get used to this sort of scale up, which has crept into my portfolio. It's just everything's big numbers, but I got to look at the percentages. And even today, like the plan was to trim. I'm looking at, we're closing at high of day again. I'll look at the minus now, but it's just, I did one or two small trims and I got these cells that are quite far away. All the stocks have to move like 5% for the next sell. There are one or two cells today. I'll go into them if I can remember and bring them up. But I'll tell you what, 44 there, like the habit will be forced front and center. I will be trimming like 5% for me is a lot. 5% across the board, just sell. Of course, I know it's going higher, but like if there's a drop, and I get to trim, I'm talking about a 5-10% drop. If I get to trim the drop, the big nibble out, the big sell, and then I buy it all back on the bounce and more, then that'll make a massive difference. And anyway, if I just trim and it keeps going up, it doesn't change much. It's just you get this, I think the way I calculated it, I just get a nice extra push and it would really turbocharge the profits. Not that I really need it. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking of silver. 42.5, 43, 44, 44 the big one, then 49, not 50. Then we go back down from 49 to 44 and then break out. But we'll see how that goes. But I think we'll end up taking over 50, like its support, and then up we go to whatever number you like, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, just like all the other miners that have taken out their historic highs. Once they do that, it's just, I mean, you can just guess, it's just big units, big $10 increments would do it for me. But I'm just looking for that one last trim before 50. And so far, these tiny, ridiculous sells that I'm doing with like 1%, I really do calculate it's like 1 or 2% of the stock. Which is, like if I got 8,000 Heckler, it's like 100 out. It's nothing, but it's just 100 out. And then I do that for 20 stocks, the equivalent. And then every day, and the cash piles up. And it helps keep the ratio in check. The cash piles up, but the value of the portfolio keeps going up because the miners don't stop their run. And it doesn't change much. And if we go down, I get this psychological boost. Like I look forward to a drop because I sold and I'd like to buy back more because I got a lot of cash. And I think the cash is just losing value in dollars, but it's earning interest. Anyway, that's all the strategy stuff. So silver, those are the numbers I'm looking at. Let's go straight to the miners because I'm not even going to look at, go on, DXY, it's right in front of me. DXY is not really doing much except grinding lower, kind of the opposite of the metals. You know, there was this little candle here. I thought maybe we were going to go higher, but no. Obviously, next week is when the big decision happens. So what do? We just grind low, and then when the decision comes, we pump actually because it's priced in. If it's 25 basis point cut, maybe it's a pump in the DXY. Maybe there's your little top. Maybe silver's at 44 by then. Or if it's 50, we just flush and silver goes to 50. I mean, a 50 basis point cut. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, nothing changes the long-term thesis. And for me, I'm completely locked in on these miners. Look at this GDXJ. I mean, we took out the historic highs. I don't need to zoom out anymore. We know what happened. We took it out. All my levels, no one cared about. Straight through. Love it. I love the disrespect. Just straight up close at high day. Jesus, we almost closed at 70, didn't we? Almost. I mean, we're gonna go straight through 70, aren't we, if we keep going tomorrow? And gold and silver finished quite decently, especially silver. I think silver's leading the miners more than gold. Gold's just taken a breather. It's been on a run for ages and it's allowed to do it. It could even go down and I don't think it would change much because these miners are catching up with reality. And whilst it's been catching up with a massive delay, the price of gold's been going up. So it's got even more to catch up. Plus the dollar's losing value every day. GDXJ, same thing. Perfect candle just like yesterday. 90 closed above 90 GDXJ. And unlike GDX, GDXJ has a long way up to go. And I thought 100 was far away a couple days ago, and now it is pretty damn close. 10%. Jesus, you could do that in 2 days. All right, tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, next week, lead up to the Fed. I'll trim that. GDXJ going to for 100, silver towards 44. I'll do a little 5% across the board sell, something like that. Maybe not across the board. I still think some stocks, First Majestic, has a bit more running to do before it catches up with its peers. For example, SIL, let's look at silver. This one also is nice because you got some past data. Yeah, I remember this one also. I was looking towards this 76-ish zone, 14%. It's getting smaller and smaller. That could be done in the next, just before the Fed, maybe. I think silver at 44 equals SIL around 76. And then for 50, you're going to go to 100 on SIL for sure. SILJ, my absolute favorite. No history after that, so you have to count SIL. Look at that. I kept on saying, all right, 18 is a big level. It's downtrend, long-term downtrend. Gotta be. No one cares. Straight up. 19, no one cares. 20, definitely 20. I mean, what a big number. Straight through. It's the middle of the candle. Absolutely irrelevant. I love it. Then the absolute all-time high that at least SILJ reports, 21.5. I'm going to say it again. That's a level. We'll probably touch that tomorrow. I think it's probably a bit too much asking to break out above that. 6% is quite a lot, actually. I mean, I hear the arrogance in my voice whilst I'm saying we keep going up, keep going up. But honestly, I just don't think we're that expensive. And if silver's going to go to 44, this has to, this would take out 2150. So it's probably best to look at SIL and GDXJ. I think I said that in the last video, but I just prefer that as chart data. But honestly, you don't want to over trade this. Just look at your, I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm just looking at my miners. Let's look at the portfolio. And I'll just sell, like, for example, Newmont, I'm just selling the all-time high just below. And then I'm letting it run, right? That's my rule. Franco Nevada, Agnico Eagle, um, Wheaton. I'm just looking at the seniors that have taken out their historic highs and they're just running. I've got no sales left for them. I'm just leaving them. But GDXJ and SIL and silver hit their levels, and then I'll probably just trim a little bit of the seniors because they'll probably come down as the others retrace. But otherwise, the ones I have not taken out their old high, I'm just gonna trim them little, maybe 5% Newmont, and then just leave it forever. But I just haven't taken enough off the table. And all right, so that's Newmont. Barrick Gold. That one I think was red today. Was it? I think it closed green by the end. Now it looks like a nice candle. Yeah, I mean, if the metals go up, you're just gonna have to go up more. That one also, like Newmont, a little trim just below 31. I mean, look at that vertical move. How can you not take some profit? I mean, would you buy that? Yeah, if you're long term. and not 100% position, probably by 20%, hope it goes down. Holding it obviously is probably the best strategy, but a little nibble, I'm going to do that for sure. I've already placed it just like Newmont. Agnico, like I said, I got no sells. That's just forever up. If it goes down, fine, it goes down. I won't buy back unless it goes to a nice level. Otherwise, just leave it. I think that's the best strategy. Just leave it. The train has left the station. Pan America, amazing. And silver going to 44 will definitely get to that 38. That's my little trim level. And just like the other, descending long terms that's supposed to be really strong resistance, we'll probably go straight through that and not care. And then I'll say 40. What a big number that is. It's just like that SILJ at 20. What a big number. Probably go straight through that like no one cares. But just little nibble there, 37.99, little 39.99, boom, boom. And if it starts to break out of there, it's gonna go to new highs. I'll leave it and it'll end up being like the Wheatons and the Franco Nevadas. I'm just gonna hold it for like months, maybe years, I don't know, without even selling unless there's some other ETF or something changes, You never know. Probably 3 weeks later something changes. But that's what I'm doing for Pan America. Little nibble, nibble, and let it go. The royalties, the Wheaton. Just leaving it, probably the right decision. Close at high of day. Looks like it wants to go up more, more, more. No problem. I mean, that's just such a good business in itself. I mean, it just prints money and it's got decent exposure to silver. Franco Nevada, leaving it. Obviously, that was the right decision. Close at high of day. I don't care about big round numbers anymore. Remember what I said? 200. Normally, I had to sell at 200. I removed it yesterday because look where we closed so close. If we go up, we go straight through. That's what we did. Metalla, that was kind of underperforming for a couple of days. There you go, just what you need, a little wake up. Close a high of day, close at new 52-week highs, close just below resistance. Tomorrow, any move up in the metals and the mines straight through six. A close above six is good enough. That should be easy. Close above 620 would be better than its clear skies straight to seven, even beyond. I think I got little nibbles at seven, just below 730, just below 790 or something. That's quite far away, but maybe if we get to silver 44 and gold running towards 4,000, could probably get Metallo there. Metallo should probably be double figures, to be honest. It's actually worth quite a bit now. It wasn't worth that much on the climb, but the value started to increase and I bought back once or twice, and now it's actually worth a decent. Right, the mid-tier golds. I am gold. Nice new closing high. Had a nice huge move yesterday, so you can understand the slight breather and maybe not closing above yesterday's high. That's fine. But a close at high of day and a new 52-week high close is cool. Next stop 12. I've got little cells under this. I remember they're tiny, but I think it makes sense. Little cell just below 12, just below 1350, and just before 1450. Boom, boom, boom. And by the time it gets all the way up there, it's worth way more after the cells because the cells are always minuscule, but when you add them all up across all the other stocks, they're good. Equinox, perfect. Closing the high of day, new 52-week high close. Next sell, yeah, this one I trimmed for some reason. I had 11.19, I just moved it at 10.99. It was just a bit weak at high of day whilst the miners are making new highs, and I just thought, maybe it's a bit tired after this crazy run. Nah, tomorrow if we have another green day, it'll go straight to 11.20. And once again, I should have done nothing but small cells, don't care. And then 13 is my next cell because this one I've removed, right? I replaced 11.20 with 10.99. So I've only got one left, and that's 13. And then that's the all-time high. You've got to always trim the all-time high test. Look at that move from 750 to 13. It's basically 100% in like a couple of weeks. It's insane. How can you not take some profit there, right? I mean, that's so yeah, and a big retracement I'll buy back. B2 Gold, it's one of the slower ones, but it's a beast and it's really starting to break out. It already has, of course, but 440 was, I don't think I've looked at another level since then. Okay, $5, that's obvious. 499. I probably got a little trim there. But basically it's ready to run to $5 because it's just cleared this horizontal little 440, closed above it. So next stop $5. Should be pretty easy. Not like it's really tired compared to the others. 10% should be easy, so that's not asking too much. Harmony, uh, cool. Obviously, that had bad news and it's recovered. And I have no doubts this is just going to break out and run. So this just needs gold and silver to keep going. And even if they don't, I can't imagine this going back down with incredible weakness. But I don't mind if it does because it's actually one of my lightest holdings because I've only bought twice, two tranches since the drop. It's like here and here or something. Average is probably around 13.50. Whatever. I just bought it because I've always loved it, always seen it. And I just saw it on a massive discount whilst everything else was going up. I forgot to cover Aris Mining, which is doing superbly. Now, this one, I have no idea what to do after it breaches 10. I got a little trim at 9.99 because of how ridiculous this chart is, and 10 was the only level I can clearly see. After that, it's sort of gaps with lack of liquidity, and okay, maybe 26 is a level, but that's like over 100% move from I mean, these are crazy moves, so I'm just gonna leave it and hopefully it does some crazy stuff. And I'll just zoom in on the daily chart if I feel like it's getting tired to time a little trim or a little sell. But otherwise, I'm leaving it. I had a nice move. It doesn't look like it, but it's really nice. And then this, I thought it was over, straight through, and we're still running. And look at that high of day close. Should go straight through 10 tomorrow if everything's green. SPSW, nice candle, just what you need after some weakness, but massive bounce. So maybe now we're finally gonna, come back to 920. And once we cross 920, we're gonna go straight through 10. And I think the Palladium Platinum, they have not moved like gold and silver, and I think they are next. I'm still going to stay in gold and silver, but I think SPSW is going to have no problem taking out 10, running all the way up here, and then basically to 20. All right, silver stocks. First Majestic, absolute hero today. This one was pissing me off because it was just grinding sideways. We have operational problems or whatever the reason was. Today, absolute no nonsense. Open at low of day, close at high of day, straight through 10. I wanted to close above 10. I got that. Next stop, normally I would say, oh, it's this. No, it's not that. We're looking for bigger moves. 1150, little gap zone, a little bit clear to me. Also decent run to there, so I think that's realistic. Not saying it's gonna happen in one day, but I think that'll be a zone like a magnet. It wants to get to 1150, wants to test it. Who knows tomorrow if it has another day like today, a 10% move, by the way, today. 11.50. Then after that, it's going to be another huge move to 14.50, 14 bucks. That's a level I've remembered a long time ago. I remember that. It was support, it was resistance, and I reckon it is clear resistance after this 11.50. In fact, even right now, it's the only clear resistance. I think we're going to get there. I think if silver goes to 44, this has a duty to go to 14. So, but today was amazing. It's just what we needed because it was underperforming for like days. Fortuna was also underperforming a little bit, but we basically the underperforming silver stocks today made up, or pretty much made up for it. They're nowhere near as good as Heckler and CDE, but that's a nice move by Fortuna. Pretty much into the resistance, just a little bit below. 849 would be my level for a trim. I actually don't know if I've still got a trim there. I probably do. And then my last trim is just below. It's always just below the old high, so probably 979, going by memory. And that is a multi-year resistance. And after that, there's nothing, which means I leave it until I feel like silver or the silver miners, if those ETFs help, because they're all starting to take out all of their historic highs. So there's no more data to go by. It's just trading in a vacuum almost. But silver 44 is a sell. Silver 50 is, when I say sell, a small trim. So if we take all this out before silver hits 50, which should be the case, this should probably be silver 44. In fact, we'll probably take it out. We'll probably be trading above 10 by the time silver's at 44. And then I'm just trading, like, I would trim Fortuna once I think silver's hit resistance. Because like I said, the silver mining ETFs, they've also got no more data, most of them. SILJ, no, SIL does, I think. But all right, that's Fortuna. Very good, just like First Majestic. CDE, which has been the best of the best of the best, had a calm day, 3%, not bad. Close at new close, a new high close, perfect, the usual minimum requirement. 15.99. I got a little trim because it's just obscene, but I know it can keep going. I know RSIs at 90 don't care when something's in a mania. I don't even think we're at, we could be 15.99, little 16.99, tiny, tiny cells just out of respect. And I don't even have one, but I probably should have one for here. But up we go. But at silver 44, probably a little bit more than a little 1 or 2% sell, a little 5% sell, maybe just because the retracement will, I don't know. I'm not sure whether it'll be a strong retracement, but I'm trying to time a good retracement. I feel like you make a decent sell, it comes down, you buy it all back, it goes down more, and then you actually add extra, real extra. Then it goes back up and makes new highs. I mean, I used to do that so well, and since it's just been going up non-stop, I haven't been able to do it. But I feel like if you get a nice big move like that and you time it well, it could just really quicken the retirement speed. So yeah, CD next to its next resistance, but another good day. No crazy double percentage figures, but 3% is actually quite great. Heckler, same sort of thing, had crazy moves. Another green day, another 1.5%, went a bit higher. Also quite close to its next resistance, in my opinion. You got this little 1150-ish zone, and then after that 13, and after that I mean, there is data before, but I feel like it's clear skies because I don't really trust data before the 2000s. I don't know anything about Hecla. In fact, I don't know much about Hecla at all. Except it's a great stock to be in when silver goes up, right? The ones that I'm in are basically, for me, the best silver stocks to be in. I know you have the juniors that can go up 600% in a year, but these are the ones that you can depend on. They've been established. They're not going to go down 80%. Not that the juniors will go down 80% anymore, but it's just they beat SILJ, right? I'm absolutely destroying GDX, GDXJ, SIL, and SILJ. I mean, I am. And these guys help me do it. So not going to change the horse mid-race. In fact, it's the beginning of the race. We're still not in the middle. So Heckler's cool. EXK, last one since MAG is no longer there, since MAG has been incorporated into Pan American Silver. EXK, I bought it yesterday, right? The only stock I bought. Boom, very nice. Bullish engulfing. Below the last couple of candles, above the last couple of candles. Huge Gandalf candle over here. It takes 1 or 2 days to go back and test this. If silver runs to 44, EXK is at 760, and I didn't really understand this retracement here. You can tell, look, these candles, these wicks, it's a curl, it's gonna bounce, and what a bounce it was. Wonderful. Yeah, I still have these three little juniors, the three latest additions that I'm underwater in. Aftermath, typical, I buy my first junior and boom, I'm down like 10, probably more percent. I basically bought in the high in case we're gonna squeeze. Don't care. It's small amounts. I know juniors don't make too much sense sometimes, and that's why I'm happy to not be in them, even though some of them have done amazing and well done for you guys being in them, really. I don't really have the patience or the mentality to hold them that much anymore. But if this one drops and goes down to here, for example, like some big ridiculous drop to a kind of obvious level, I would buy that. I would double my position because I've got like what, $500 in it or something, 700, nothing. Goes down here, just double my position. I've got enough miners. I don't want to start having like 30 miners with juniors. But yeah, that one's just down. It still was at 50. We were up above one, so I don't really care. This one's the most exciting one. Ah, nice, another new high. This one, if silver's at 50, this one, I mean, silver's 50 is quite close. This one could probably be like 50 cents or more. Oh yeah, definitely. I could probably be at 68 if silver's at $50. And I think we're going there. So I'm just lottery ticket, same amount as the other one. Don't really care, but it could do hundreds of percentages. And finally, I always forget this one, Aya Gold and Silver, which did what was obvious. So yesterday's close was pretty clear that it wanted to go up. Today was an update, up it went. So now this little percentage, I don't really need it, 20%. Easy, easy. All right, so there you go. Another wonderful day. I don't even talk about my blue chip stocks. You don't even see them all here, but I haven't paid much attention. They've just been going up too. So even when you have like gold and silver down a little bit, the little minus 0.5% day where it's nothing happening, I end up being up overall because of those two. So it's like quite ideal. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, nice weekly candle. Next week, I believe, is Fed decision week. Is it Wednesday? So we have still 1 or 2 days after that. I mean, things are ideal, and I just need a time. I just need some minutes sometimes after the market closes to really let it sink in. Like this is crazy, and these are vertical moves, and you're heavily in them, and you could see the change in the portfolio, and it's really nice. But you gotta stick to a strategy that works. I don't think they're all gonna evaporate. They're not all gonna go down. This is gonna last for months, maybe years, but risk management is also something that you should take into account. I don't want to be too heavily in, and that's why I talk about trimming, even though I think medium and long term it just goes way higher. Anyway, it's for another day maybe. Otherwise, absolutely perfect once again. So I hope you guys are also having a good time out there.